Hi everyone, I'm R.V. Kiran, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Chevrolet Engineering College. Today I'm going to give a lecture on Advanced Materials, and this is my 10th lecture in this Advanced Materials series. And the topic to be discussed in these Advanced Materials are the properties of FGM and the types of FGM and processing techniques of the FGM process, that is functionally graded materials process. So we are using different types of processing methods and processing techniques to utilize or to grow a FGM. So what are the different properties of FGM and what are the different types of FGM used for the processing techniques should be learned in this lectured video. We have already seen about the introduction, origin and naturally origin of FGMs, composite versus FGM and its structure, why we are using the FGM and the basic classification of the FGM based on the type of gradients and some examples on the type of gradients. Now we are going to discuss about the properties comparison of materials versus FGM. So here why we are taking the metals in comparison with the FGM means, so daily we are using the metals only. So in the daily purpose or daily usage, metals is the high proportionate ratio we are using in the daily use. So we are considering it as the metals versus FGM. So in the composite materials also and in the alloys also, metals are the more important materials used in the combination of both alloy and composite materials. So I am taking metals as the comparison link. So first we are going to comparison in the weight, that is the density of the material. So in the density of the material, first we are taking the stainless steel. So the weight of the stainless steel is higher. We can see in the first picture, that is the weight picture. Steel bar is very high as compared to the aluminum and FGM. We know that aluminum weight is very less compared to steel, cast iron or copper, some other things. So aluminum is little bit better, but compared to the FGM it is somewhat higher than the FGMs. So the weight is very less than the normal metals. So first one is the weight comparison. Going to the thermal expansion. So thermal expansion, steel is little bit lower than the aluminum and aluminum has the highest thermal expansion condition, but FGM has very low thermal expansion condition as compared to steel and aluminum. Next, third one is the specific stiffness. So in the properties condition, stiffness is the main property that is used to develop a material or give a good surface finish to the material. So this specific stiffness property is very important in the developing of properties in the material. So comparing to the steel and aluminum, specific stiffness is very higher than the both steel and aluminum to FGM. So FGM specific stiffness is very higher than the steel and aluminum. And last one is the specific strength. So this condition also very good. This is also very good property in the developing of materials. So it is also very high in the FGMs. So functionally graded materials specific strength is very high as compared to steel and aluminum. Both steel and aluminum has equal number of properties, that is equal amount of specific stiffness in the property comparison. So these are the general properties where we are discussing through FGM versus metals. Next one is the types of FGM. So what are the basic types of FGM? So we are considering it in the manufacturing types. So according to the process of manufacturing, it can be divided into two types. First one is the thin FGM, second one is the bulk FGM or thick FGM. So both names we are considering, but the important one name is the bulk FGM. So generally outside also they are called as bulk FGM. So thin FGM and bulk FGM. So going to the thin FGM, it is having relatively thin sections than the bulk FGM, or thin surface coatings than the bulk FGM. We are using little bit of layer surface in the thin FGM. Then going to the bulk FGM, it contains number of volumes of materials which requires more number of work from the labor. So we are giving the incentives also very high. So more work means more incentives. So there in the bottom you can see the thin FGM and bulk FGM. So on the left side of the picture you can see the thin FGM. So there is only one layer of the thin section. So only one relatively one section is there. But in the right side section there is a number of layers considering different properties. Bulk FGMs is different volumes of materials which requires more labor intensive process. So work is more or work is high in the bulk FGMs. So then going to the processing techniques. So what are the processing techniques used for the manufacturing of FGMs? So what are the techniques regularly we are using in the processing of FGMs? So for in the thin FGM there are four types vapor deposition techniques. So in the vapor deposition techniques there is two types: CVD, chemical vapor deposition, PVD. Next, second one is the plasma spraying. Third one is the self-propagating high temperature synthesis, that is SHS. Last one is the IBAD, that is ion beam assisted deposition. Next, coming to the bulk FGM, there are three methods, that is powder metallurgy, centrifugal method and solid freeform fabrication method. So these are the general processing techniques used for the manufacturing of FGMs. So manufacturing for the FGMs, first one is the physical vapor deposition techniques. That is, in the vapor deposition techniques there is two types of vapor deposition techniques. First one is the chemical vapor deposition, next one is the physical vapor deposition. So in this physical vapor deposition, it has the produce the high purity, high performance solid materials, so which is a physical vapor one. So coming to the peaks, so on the left side of the peaks, first one is the source, that is the solid or liquid form of a material. During evaporation it comes to the gaseous phase, so gas phase, so it comes to like a air bubbled one. Next, coming to the transportation and deposition, then it comes again changed to the solid phase. So in the physical vapor deposition technique, the phases are changing from solid or liquid to gaseous one, and next it gets converting into gas one to solid phase. And going to the right side picture, we are seeing the process of PVD. So left side we have a sputtering gas is there. So when we are releasing this sputtering gas, it is evaporated to the uppermost part of the layer. So that is the sputtering target, which we can see in the green color. Then these atoms are considering towards the sputtering target and then reflected from the sputtering target to the substrate. So when it comes to the substrate, it is in the form of solid phase, that is small size, these atom molecules are small size atoms, so small stones types atoms, and then comes out of the substrate. So this is the general deposition and general technique used for the physical vapor deposition techniques. That is, by using the physical vapor deposition techniques, we are making a atoms or molecules of FGMs. Second one is the chemical vapor deposition technique. So in the chemical vapor deposition technique, a thin film is formed by chemical reaction between gaseous compounds. So we are taking multi number of gaseous compounds. So in every border of the gaseous compounds, a thin layer is formed by dividing the layer from one chemical compound to the other chemical compound. Then CVD is a chemical process to produce high purity, high performance solid materials. So in the chemical vapor deposition, generally we are using the chemical process only. Next, in the typical CVD process, a substrate is exposed to one or more precursors, that is catalysts or some other thing which we are used to de-react. So reaction is not observed in the CVD process. A catalyst is used to maintain the distance, so on the substrate surface, to produce the desired deposit, that is deposit means chemical compounds. And last one is the during this process the products are also produced which are removed by the gaseous flow through the reaction chamber. So on the left side we are using the gas inlet, so gaseous chemical compounds are comes into the turbine or the regulator. Then the chemical compounds are deposited on the bottom of the tank. When the reactor is on, the substrate and the thin films are combined together and produce a gaseous compounds, and these gaseous compounds go out through the pump which is on the right side of the storage tank. So this is the regular process used in the chemical vapor deposition technique. Next one is the self-propagating high temperature synthesis, SHS. So in the SHS, it is connected from finely powdered reactants that are intimately mixed. So we are using the different types of compounds here through powder. So fully powdered structures are used, not a solid or liquid piece. We are using here a fully powdered reactants, so that are intimately mixed. When we are considering it as powders, then we are mixing the powders into another form. So in some cases the reagents are finely powdered, whereas in other cases they are sintered to minimize. So sintering means sintering is done to the materials to minimize their surface area and prevent exothermic reactions, which can be very dangerous to the manual skins or other damage, other parts. So that is liver. When we are breathing, it is considered very effective to the liver or bronchioles. Next, this synthesis is initiated by point heating of a small part of the sample. Usually it is done at the top of the sample. A heating is done through a pen type pointer. So a pen type pointer is taken and put on the top surface of the sample and it is heated. So once the process is started, a wave of exothermic reaction sweeps through the remaining material and the heating is done to powder. So we can see we are taking here this titanium powder plus lamp black. So lamp black is a sand we are used for, and titanium powder is mixed with the lamp black and it is combined to form a mixture there. Then it is sent for the compacted structure, that is cold pressing. So where we are pressing with the some loads, it is compacting. So then it is considered into a single solid structure. So when we are using a solid die or a drum like type die, we are considering it as the compacted mixture. So the shape and size depends on the die used, and then it is sent to the ignition purpose, that is current transferring purpose, and the combustion wave is reacted on the solid piece, that is the sample on the topmost part, and synthesis in the cold wall vessel is titanium done in the last one, that is titanium carbide is obtained in the last solution. So that this is the basic line diagram of the SHS, that is self-propagating high temperature synthesis, which is used in the manufacturing of FGM. Next one is the plasma spraying technique. So plasma spraying technique is the basic process used for the production of FGM. So in this plasma spraying process, the spraying of molten or heat softened material into a surface to provide a coating type material. So to produce a shield for the surface material, we are using the spraying process, that is the molten metal or heated metal. Heated metal is used as the layer for shield. Then this material is formed in the form of powder and is injected into a very high temperature plasma flame, that is the plasma gas form, and where it is rapidly heated and accelerated to a high velocity range of surface material. So that is, you can see the yellowish color. So it is the spray used for the as the shield coating. The last one is the hot material impacts on the substrate surface and the rapidly cools, forming a coating. So a coating is formed, which is you can see in the green color. So a coating is formed on the surface layer of the material. So this coating is done by the spraying. So here we are using the two poles, that is the cathode as well as anode. So anode is in the starting region of the injector, and the cathode is on the where the plasma gas is flowing through the anode. So that is in the starting of the nozzle, and the powder injection is done in the vertical side of the anode, that is in the topmost side, and the powder injection is done through the blue flame. So when the powder injection is done, the blue color flame is comes under the yellowish color on the top side bottom, and the spray stream of the molten particles are seen in the yellowish color on the upside part, and the interior part you can see the red color molecules. So this spraying process is done through a thin section of spraying. So when we are used to draw from 1 mm to 2 mm or 2 mm to 3 mm, we are seeing different types of sections there. So different types of layers can be induced for the coating. So in the first coating itself, we cannot draw 3 to 4 mm of coating. So we used to draw the 1 mm or 2 mm coating in the surface layer. So this is the plasma spraying technique. This plasma spraying technique is also used for the spraying of colors for the automobile sector, that is for the car colors or bike colors. These are using in the plasma spraying technique. Next one is the powder metallurgy technique, that is in the bulk FGM. So in the powder metallurgy technique, sintering is the process of taking the metal in the form of a powder and placing it into a die. So the shape and size of the die depends upon the purpose we needed or the usage of purpose. So what is the purpose you are seeing the, so for household or for industry or for other research purpose. So the die depends on the shape of the die depends on the purpose only. So once compacted into the mold, the material is placed under a high heat, which is for a long period of time. So for a long period of time, some load is applied on the die itself to produce the high heat. So under some heat, the bonding takes place between the aggregate particles, that is the small particles, which we are taking the bondage by the heat produced by the die. And once cooled, the powder has bonded to form a solid piece. So in the bottom picture, we can see the powders, different types of powders we are using: copper, graphite, stainless steel. So some other powders there we are seeing that by mixing we are sending it to the compacting. So compacting, we are pouring it into a basin reservoir and then going it into a die. Then by applying some heat on the compacting die, it is molded into a basic size of a die, that is a shape of a die which we are obtained on the centering. So this is the process technique we are other process technique used for the manufacturing of FGM. Next one is the centrifugal method. So this centrifugal method is used for the rotation of the molecules or the rotation of the liquid or the molten metal which we are used for the surface extension. So in the centrifugal casting, a permanent mold is used for rotation purpose and it is rotated continuously about its axis. So this speed of the mold is depends upon the material poured. So we can use up to 3 to 300 3000 rpm, which is 3000 rpm is very high as compared to the molten metal, and the molten metal is centrifugally thrown towards the inside mold wall, which is very rotating cylinder where it solidifies after cooling, and the casting die is usually a fine grained casting with a very fine grained outside diameter. So we are considering here as the outside diameter as the die owing to chilling against the mold surface. So the mold surface here using the very thin sections there. Next, last one is the casting machines may be either horizontal or vertical axis. So casting machines we can use on the both sides, that is on the horizontal way as well as the vertical way. So on the right side you can see the drive roller or the free roller, on the upside we can use the mold. So here two rollers are using. First one is the driver roller, second one is the driven roller, which is on the which we can roll the on the speed of driver roller. So when we are using this driver and free roller, this rotates the mold through the anti-clockwise. So when the driver follower and the free follower are rotating in the clockwise direction, the mold is circle in the anti-clockwise direction, rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. When the driver follower and the free follower are rotate in the anti-clockwise direction, it rotates in the opposite direction, that is in the clockwise direction. So this is the regular format which we are using for the centrifugal method. And next one is the solid freeform fabrication method, that is SFF. So it involves generally 5 steps. So in the solid freeform structure we are using the we are using the software structure, so that is AutoCAD or Solid Edge or any other thing we are using the software. So first step is the generation of CAD data from the software like AutoCAD, Solid Edge or CATIA, etc., any other thing. Then we are converting it to CAD data into the STL file, that is standard triangulation language file. So STL file is must for the development of SFF, that is solid freeform fabrication method. So we are considering the AutoCAD or Solid Edge here to converting it into the STL file. Then this STL file is sliced into two-dimensional cross-section profiles, that is stereolithography. So then we are converting it into the stereolithography and building the components layer by layer, that is by lamina. So by using the lamina layer we can build the components layer by layer. There we can see this process in the 3D printing also. So a layer by layer are transmitted in the 3D printing also. And last one is the removal and finishing of the object, that is finishing of layer. We can use the remove the object from the process. So this is the basic process done in the SFF, solid freeform fabrication method. So on the picture you can see the first by data by 3D CAD. So 3D CAD we can use the AutoCAD, Solid Edge or CATIA software. These are the general software used in the mechanical stream. Next it is converted into the CAD process. So CAD data is converted into the STL format data. Then it is conversion into the stereolithography, which the shape can be identified and transformed through the process. So the thickness of the layer depends upon the programming data we can using. So then it is converted into the hardening the first layer. So when we are hardened the first layer, we can use the second layer. Then second layer is hardened, we can use the third layer. So we can develop it by building the component layer by layer. So after all the development of the components layer by layer, we use to remove and finishing used for the finishing purpose. So we can use it in the finishing purpose. So this is the solid freeform fabrication method. So this is the only method used in the software model. So we are using the software model here. So all other methods are used in the general by using the mechanical machines only. So these are the processing techniques used for the manufacturing of FGMs. Thank you.